they kind of squirted off target, and we were like, we got to get these guys, but we need to Casevac our boy first. They took off up in the mountains.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Crazy place. I mean, they say that's the place where like empires fall.
Yeah. It's those dudes and that terrain, the hardest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you were there, I mean, this is back in like 2008, but as a part of like any of the, I don't know, like intel briefings and precautions, was anyone ever talking about China, given that they were right there on the border, and if things fell into their hands as they have now? Like was that a conversation at all at the time?
No, not even a little bit.
Because they have control of bases now, I think, right?
And mines. I think there's like a $88 trillion lithium mine I think they have access to in Afghanistan. I'm not sure.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, here you go. I'm like, dude, we could have mined there. What's up, man? I'll go do security. Let's get it. Yeah.
In this time, though, working with SEAL Team 6, do you feel like, minus the fact you guys have more funding and stuff like that, do you feel like this is another level up? Or did it feel very similar to Team 5?
Another level, for sure. Because, and it's not any knock on any of the other SEAL teams, it's just that the SEAL teams will get new guys straight from training, because that's just you have to. You have to have some tenure to even show up to SEAL Team 6. So there's no new guys. They've already deployed. They already know what you got to do to be a good SEAL. So the fact that there's really no new guys at SEAL Team 6 is that's the difference. Everyone's already moving up to speed. Where at the regular SEAL teams, you always have to start over at the basics because you have to bring in those 2 to 5 new guys each time.
Yeah. And obviously you're in Afghanistan for this whole one, so you're doing a lot of missions there. But, I guess it didn't happen for you, but if you're, say, SEAL Team 6 and you're deploying to Afghanistan on a 6-month rotation, is it possible that during that time, if something goes down somewhere else, you get called in to there and moved, or do you know you're going to be in Afghanistan?
I don't want to go too much in details,
okay,
but there is contingencies for people to do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, when these teams are going out, it's not like the whole... You have guys who are on a different rotation from that team,
exactly.
Too, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
So you finish Afghanistan, you come back, same type of situation. Is this when you do sniper school?
No.
What'd you do?
Went to like race car driving school.
There you go.
All kinds of wild shit. Yeah, it was cool. Skydiving a bunch. And then
skydiving.
Yeah, we at the team I was at, we would, and it wasn't fun skydiving. It was like wake up at 1 a.m., put on all your shit, out of the plane at 2 a.m., do it 4 more times. I'm like, man, this is like selection again. This fucking sucks. But the team's like, no, we need to know how to jump. We want to. I'm like, God. And then you hear about the other teams. They're like, we're going to Thailand to do a breaching trip. And I'm like, fuck, can we go to Thailand? Like, nope, you're gonna go skydive 1,000,000 times. Like, fuck. It's like, can we just do what those guys? Oh, we're gonna go hike Kilimanjaro. Cool. We're gonna just be in the desert skydiving over and over and over again.
At 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m.
How cold is it up there when you first jump?
It's because I have zero tolerance for cold. I'm the worst. So when we're doing those really, really, really high jumps, it's, I think, and someone can correct me, I think it's -3 degrees every 1,000 feet you go up.
Whoa.
So math,
yeah,
cold, right? That's it.
You get 30,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's cold.
Shit's cold up there.
Yeah.
And then I always wondered like how that goes down, because I've never been skydiving myself. Not that the civilian version is anything like that, but they're bringing you up there. You have an objective, obviously, of where they want you to land, right? So you got to learn how to maneuver everything. Like, did they just throw you into that the first time you do it?
God, no.
I was gonna say, I mean, Jesus Christ,
figure it out. No, there's ground school, and they, you have a little board, and you got your compass and your GPS, and like, all right, this is how you get to where you need to go, and you're on night vision, and you got your oxygen mask on, and you can't really turn your head because your risers are coming up, and you have all your shit on. It's just like fuck, and It's weird because in the SEAL team, right? Room clearing, you're with your boys. Shipboarding, you're with your boys. Like everything's so group oriented,
Yeah.
as it should be. And even though we jump out as close as we can out the plane at night, you don't see anybody until like the last 10 minutes of like being in the sky for 25 minutes. You know, you're under canopy and you're hoping you're going the right direction with your, you know, the plan you had, and you look down on your GPS and you're following the arrow, but you're like drifting left or right, and then you see a little light on the ground and you're like, oh, is that the lead jumper? Or is that the Walmart? Like, fuck, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And you just, you know, as you get lower and lower, you either find out it's the Walmart parking lot or you're on course. And then you got to, if you are on course, and thank goodness I never was too far off course, I always found the rest of the guys under canopy, like 5,000 feet, and got in the stack and landed. So,
did any of your guys like ever actually land in the Walmart parking lot? Like, hey, hello, sorry.
Oh man, in through selection, we had a guy land so far away he had to pull out his satellite antenna.
Oh.
And call it in. And if you do that twice, you're gone. So
you're gone.
They had to get on quads and trucks and go find them.
When you're doing all this, do you have any idea where you're going to be going next, or is it that's still up in the air?
No, because when you're doing these evolutions, because like the plane is either chartered or, you know, we're just there to jump. So you land, get your shit, pack up, get in the van, go back, and do it again. Yeah.
And this is like over a 6-month period, something like that?
For jumping, we'll jump for about a month.
Oh, it's a month.
Yeah.
But like every day?
Multiple times a day. Maybe 2 weeks. Maybe it's a 2-week trip, but it just feels like a month. It's brutal.
I have one buddy who's ex-Special Forces who trains all that stuff now. Like, just gets him out there and does it with, like, a bunch of, I think, the teams and stuff like that. And I guess the guys on the other end of it have fun with it, tossing you out of the plane.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where did you go next after this? Like, you'd been, obviously, like, your career starts off crazy. You start young, you're 18, you're in there by the time you're 20, 21. You go to Iraq at the height of shit. You go to Afghanistan where shit's going down. Like, you're not old. You're 24, 25 at this point, but you feel like a grizzled veteran. So where are they sending you next after this?
Back to Afghanistan.
Back to Afghanistan again.
Yep.
What was going down at the time? Like, just getting worse?
More smashing bad dudes. Yeah.
All right. I feel like this is one you don't want to expand upon.
No.
So if I'm pressing.
No, bring it. It's just hard, right? It's like, oh, Dan, that's an actual story. I'm like, I don't know. Like, that's what we did.
I don't know. Just shot some people.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. We had one that was kind of sporty.
Sporty.
It was sporty. Yeah. We had one of our dog handlers got shot, and unfortunately the canine died. And they kind of squirted off target, and we were like, fuck, we got to get these guys, but we need to casevac our boy first. They took off up in the mountains, and we had eyes on from one of the platforms in the sky. So we loaded up the helos and went after them, and they were way up in this ravine, like super high elevation. And I tell people, you know, I was fortunate enough to do a 100-foot fast rope, and they go, well, the fast ropes only come up to 90 feet. I go, yeah, exactly. There's 10 feet after, you just kept going. Yeah, it sucked. So we fast rope in. I hit the ground. I look down at I'm rocking the saw, right? The belt-fed 5.56 machine gun. I look down, and the ammo box had broken off and just went down like a crevasse. I'm like, well, I'm down 200 rounds. Grab my other, load it up. So we fast roped in. It was sketch, and we start going up the ravine, but like offset, because they're in the ravine, 4 dudes looking down the ravine waiting for us, and it's 3 a.m., 4 a.m. local time, and we take the long route. So we're parallel to where they are now, and we come across over the ridge, and just as we're about to come over the ridge, I hear something that scared the living shit out of me. It was like this roar echoing through the mountain. It's like, roar. And I was like, what the fuck? And I look up, and there's an A-10 Warthog. Like, I felt like I could have thrown a rock and hit it. It was so low, and it was just echoing, and he was just doing strafing runs on those guys. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit. And then the sun started to come up. I was like, okay. So it was like one of my few daytime engagements out there. we come up over the ridge and, we take an aim like, oh, they're there. Okay, cool. And it's funny. I remember the dog handler with me. He was next to me with his dog, and it was kind of like a 3-2-1 execute. And I pop up with my saw, and I just lay into these guys. And he's trying to get shots off, but his dog's going crazy. So he's like, wants to engage and working his dog. And then after, he's like, fuck, bro, I didn't get to shoot. You shot everybody with your fucking machine. I didn't get to shoot nobody. Sorry, bro. and I was really happy I got to, because I've carried that thing probably like 10 to 12 other times before and never got to shoot it. I said, finally, right? So we got those guys in the valley, in the little ravine, and, I lit up some bushes just to make sure. I'm looking, I see what looks like a log, just like a brown log. And what had happened was we were up here facing these guys down here. One of our reconnaissance guys went around and flanked them from the top of the ravine. And he saw something odd like I saw, and he pulled the trigger, and what happened, he shot a dude right in the tank. Boom. And I hear this god-awful scream, and then I see that brown log turn red, and then this guy does like an atomic sit-up, wham! And I can see his profile right in my EOTech sight picture. And I'm like, brr, and drop him. We get back to the bird. And the reconnaissance guy was like, bro, I'm like, what's up? He's like, dude, I shot that guy. And he's on a magnifier. He's got a scope on his gun. And then when he sat up, I was going to take a headshot, and I was zoomed in on his face. And then all of a sudden, you opened up, and I just off the side. I'm like, man, that's fucking wild. He's like, dude, it was crazy. So, okay, don't be a bad guy. That was it.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.